Just as the pandemic appears to show signs of slowing down, researchers have now identified 7 new variants of the coronavirus. As these new variations cause for alarm, and perhaps most importantly, will the vaccines that are available right now be effective with the new strains? Our investigative reporter Joel Grover has some answers from researchers of a new study.
Teams of researchers using genetic sequencing machines in labs from Pittsburgh to Wyoming to Louisiana have now identified 7 new variants of the virus that causes COVID-19. They believe 5 of the variants are already in California. Dr. Jeremy Camille at Louisiana State University co-authored the study identifying the variants. Is it unusual for an infectious virus to have 7 mutations at once?
That's absolutely normal.
Scientists say it's common for viruses to mutate over time. The 7 new COVID variants that were recently found are in addition to the other more infectious UK or B117 variant and the potent South African and Brazilian variants. Which of these 7 variants concern you the most?
None of them concern me the most. This is probably going to mostly be an academic, scientific concern.
Researchers believe the vaccines now available will be effective against all of the mutations and variants identified so far.
What is true is that our vaccines protect against what matters. They protect against serious disease, hospitalization, and death.
But researchers do have a big concern. They say public health labs in the U.S. are not doing enough analyzing or sequencing of COVID samples to identify the spread of new variants.
The United States is falling behind in sequencing. We sequence less than 4 out of every 1,000 cases. That's far too little. Other countries are handing us our rear end in sequencing.
Doing more sequencing of COVID samples, researchers say, will help track variants in parts of the country and help with decisions like whether or not to open schools. For the I-Team, I'm Joel Grover.